In today's video, we're going to be painting up the Umber Hulk from the Dungeons & Dragons wizkids range. So first thing I'd like to say just before we get started on the miniatures, I'm actually just a little bit sick this week. But with that said, I'm sorry for my voice, but we're just going to move on by painting our Umber Hulk up with some desert sand from Army Painter. And we're going to be using this to paint up all the outer shell of the Umber Hulk. So this is all the outer shell on the arms, the back, the legs, everything that sort of has a hardened shell, or like a carapace, I guess is what you call it. On it, we want to paint all that up with our desert sand, giving it a nice even coat around the whole thing. This includes also up in the Umber Hulk's face, and like I said, on the leg, I'm actually going to paint up the whole leg. There's actually like a little cut off spot at the top of the leg where it connects to his body, so that's what we're going to be painting up the desert sand to. So once we have all that desert sand painted on and dry, what we're going to do is we're going to come in with warlock purple, and we're going to be using the warlock purple to paint all the underside of the Umber Hulk. So this is all in between where the armor plating and the carapace or chitin, whatever you can sort of call it, isn't. So it's some nice like fleshy areas. So I'm going to paint that all up with the warlock purple. So I'm just going in here, just being pretty careful not to hit it on top of all the stuff we just painted. And I'm also going to be using this as well for under the arms and the hands. There's a little bit here that has a connection point between the two bits of armor. So I'm going to get that, and as well as all of the underside of the hand here, which is all going to be in this warlock purple. Then once all that warlock purple dried and complete, we're going to come in with a demonic yellow, and we're going to use this to paint all the Umber Hulk's big, what do you call it, pincers. What do you call them? Mandibles. There we go. That's the word I was after. I want to use it to paint up all the little mandibles, as well as the tips of the fingers and the little bits of the claws. We want to make sure we get all of that, and I also want to paint up the Umber Hulk's eye. So he's got little bits of like shielding on his eye. We also want to paint that up in the demonic yellow as well. Then once we have all that complete, see it's really starting to pop now with that yellow, we want to come in with a castle grey, and we're just going to use this castle grey to paint up the base of our Umber Hulk. So just a nice easy paint job. We just want to slap it on there, and just being careful to avoid, of course, painting all over the toes and stuff of the Umber Hulk. So just getting in there nice and slowly, and then really pushing that brush all around the base. So now with our base done, we're actually finished all our base colours that we'll need for painting up the Umber Hulk. So now we're going to come in with a seraphim sepia, and the seraphim sepia wash we're going to use to cover the whole lot of the Umber Hulk. We're going to cover completely everything in the Umber Hulk with the seraphim sepia, as it gives off a nice skin sort of texture, as well as it, when you apply it, gives it this really nice hardened sort of carapace look, like an insect does actually have. So I'm going to use this over the whole lot, because for our flesh bits that we have underneath and stuff, it's really going to make it look a lot more fleshy with the seraphim sepia. So it's actually quite an easy one coat over the whole thing sort of technique, which is actually far more effective than I was expecting. I thought I was going to have to come in with a couple of different washes here. I mean, you still might, but I feel that just having the seraphim sepia is just enough to really get the whole effect across the whole thing. It brings out each individual colours, as well as the effect that I'm trying to go for over the whole thing, making it look sort of big insect-like. But it's actually just a nice, easy paint job to apply once all that's done. Okay, so once all that seraphim sepia wash is all dried up all over the Umber Hulk, it looks really good. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring it out with some more effect. So we're coming with our desert yellow, sorry, and we're grabbing a dry brush, which of course all you want to do is put your paint, load up your paint on your brush, dry it off on a paper towel as much as you can, and then you can really sort of quickly make passes over your miniature with the dry brushing to really bring out all those raised edges and little fine bits of detail on the Umber Hulk. So I'm being pretty aggressive with it here, since the Umber Hulk is mainly one colour on the top of it, so I don't have to worry too much about the paint getting over the other parts of the miniature. But it's just a nice, easy thing to bring out all those little bumps and stuff on the Umber Hulk. Then with all that dry brushing done, we can see it's really brought out all those little bumps and dents on there. But what we want to do is we want to come back with our warlock purple, and we're going to use it just on the tip of a fine detail brush to just pick out the little tubes and stuff. I don't know what you call it, but just these little bits here on the side, all these little raised edges. So it's sort of like a dry brush, but I do actually have paint on there because I'm highlighting them more than dry brushing them on. You can see I've just got a little bit of the dry brushing on here, so just coming back and picking those out. Then with all that complete, what we're going to do is we're going to come back with our demonic yellow, and what we're going to do is we're going to just be painting up the parts where the light's going to be mainly hitting the Umber Hulk. So I just want to come back over the eyes because I really want them to pop out real nicely, with just having that little bit of light on there, so they're not so blended in with the dry brushing I've accidentally got on top of it. And then also I just want to hit the very edges of these mandibles, giving them sort of like a shiny effect, as well as separating it from the darker inside that we have from our wash that we placed over top of it. So it's going to separate it out quite nicely, and it also makes them, I guess, more look like blades. I guess just with the way we've done this, it looks like it's a little bit highlighted and stuff. Now we have all the mandibles and our claws and stuff all highlighted up. What we're going to do is we're going to grab some nuln oil, and we're going to use this wash to cover up the base of our Umber Hulk. So we want to just apply this quite messy all over the bottom. So I'm actually applying this very messy, quite a lot more than I usually would for a base, because it actually has quite a lot of these little like pools and indents and stuff on the little base, and I really want to have those picked out quite harshly so you can really see the whole lot on here. Then once all that wash is drying, see it's really picked up those details quite good. And what we're going to do now is we're going to come in with an ash grey, which is a lighter grey than we originally used in our base. And we're grabbing a dry brush again, and we're going to pick out all those raised edges. So now it's got quite a bit of variation for just adding just a couple of colours on, one colour on here, a wash, and then a second colour over top to pick that out. It's really adding a lot of depth and sort of difference in textures and paints on here for pretty small effort, which is really, really nice, what we want to stand out, because Umber Hulks sort of live in the dark caves. And then with that, guys, we are completed with painting up our Umber Hulk. And you can see with just a very small selection of paints, we actually painted this Umber Hulk up pretty quickly and pretty effectively, just by adding those washes and then going back over with the dry brushing to really pick out all those details with all the bumps and stuff it has on it, as well as just coming back and highlighting over those certain parts, really giving off a nice effect. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed this painting tutorial, and see how easy it is to paint up yourself, and I hope you'll give it a try sometime too. But I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you'll check out some more of my others. But with that, I'll see you all later.